What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project. It's another mod. This is the Porsche 997, but it's the 911 GT3 RS 4.0. And we got ours from the auction house. It's available from everywhere apart from the barns, apparently. Don't know why, but there we go. It's not in too bad condition. The body's a bit of a shame, but we are just missing some panels. That is a very easy fix a little bit later. Did we get a good deal on this Porsche? Absolutely not. I bought it for 28,130 and could sell it for 20,989, losing out on 7,141 before we even begin. The engine in this one is the B6 MA 1.03 with 403 factory horsepower. We will obviously be increasing that as much as we possibly can today with all of the performance parts that are going to go in that beastly little engine that does look relatively complete in there, although the air intake isn't as central as it possibly could be, but never mind, we'll come back to that. We'll also be using the beautiful TKAftermarket mod parts for the brakes and little bits on the suspension to increase power a little bit more, including those beautiful rubber bushings. That's the plan for today. Hopefully it's going to come to fruition. There is a livery with this one, and we will be using it. I just got to pick the main colour to go with. What am I kidding? You've already seen the thumbnail. You know what we're going with. I'm just not quite there yet myself. But let's get this beautiful Porsche started. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash with the GT3, let's just get it cleaned and see the whiteness underneath all that dust and grime. Not really that much dust, just a lot of rust on this bad boy. The livery is on it. Okay, so we already have the livery on there, looking quite nice. The grey stripe with the red sort of accent details on there, looking beautiful. Nothing on the hood because it's missing, but there we go. Let's get the interior cleaned, get this beast back on the lifter, get that B6 engine all ripped out of there, and start stripping everything else down. GT3's up in the air. Let's look for that oil pan. It's a split engine, isn't it? But I believe there's still an oil pan in there, so let's just get it drained out anyway. Out you come. No, it's not bad. That's quite a bit of relatively clean oil in there, actually, which is a bit of a shock considering what we've seen recently. Two beautiful turbochargers, just lovely sat on the end there. So obviously we know we've got to get these rear wheels and the drive shafts off first. So I'll crack on with that. Wheels and drive shafts out. Let's crack on with this gearbox. The starter's just sitting at the top there, but at least it's there. Then we can get the big chunky gearbox out of there as well. Nice and easy. That's pretty epic. Let's get it back down and see if we can pull that engine out of this lovely little engine bay. Over we go, grabbing the engine crane. And let's give it a bash. We'll open you up first. Out you come. Nice and easy. That is what we like. Back away you go. Let's take a look inside the engine bay. So we know we've obviously got the air filter cover. Absolutely behemoth one on here today. Then we got a brake servo, the coolant reservoir, power steering reservoir, and the ABS pump and module down at the back. Anything missing? Doesn't look like it. No. And then up the front, if I could get there, we've also got the wishy-washy reservoir, the battery, its tray, and all of that, with the ECU just nicely sat underneath it. And we have a medium intercooler at the front there. You know what I haven't seen is a fuse box. Am I missing it? Am I being blind? I'm being blind. It's just down there, hiding away, facing away from the car. Absolutely fantastic. There is a fuse box in there. Now we need to get all the liquids drained. Can I reach them all from here? I do believe I can. There's a power steering reservoir up there somewhere. There it is. I could see it, but never mind. I've jumped into it now. Can I reach you from there? I can. So right click, additional tools, drain tool, and then click and hold on the container, and it will all drain out. We're going to get the rest of this suspension and the engine bay all stripped out. And when we come back, it'll be time to sort out this beautiful 997 stunning bodywork before heading into the paint shop. That's everything for the GT3 RS, repaired, replaced, or upgraded. At least all the mechanical stuff anyway. So let's get started with this bodywork. Stripping it all off. Off with the front bumper, off with the fenders. Out with that windshield. Side skirts, their piece. No body window in there. Rear bumper, off you come. The exhaust tips are in the bumper. That's good to know. Tail lights, trunk, spoiler. Separate, comes with it. Liking that. There we go. Body window is on this side, so we do need to get that out. Anything down here? Doesn't look like it. So let's get in and grab this interior. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with these seats or not. We may try and put some colour on them, see how they turn out, but we may just swap them for something totally different, as we do have some beautiful red accents on the inside of this Porsche. Looking lovely. Is that everything, though? That's not the right screen I want. That screen, 1% on there, and nothing showing up on there. So we have got everything. And before we jump into that, Frames at 38%, and I bought the car for a little over 28,000. What do we reckon? 1,000? 1,000. We'll go with 1,000. It's 500. I was wrong, but there we go. Let's take a look at the body shop for the 997. Not much in here, only the 2 pages. I'm liking that a little bit, considering the McLaren we just did. But there you go, everything listed as it needs to be. GT3 RS store. That door isn't listed as the GT3 RS store, but there we go. GT2 has got the lettering on it, but we are obviously the GT3, so we'll be keeping all of the GT3 RS parts. An option for different hoods there, so we'll see which one we like the best. We do have a few headlight options and a couple of taillight options to play around with, which ones we like best. Just one mirror option, and then a few trunk options. Okay, 2 trunk options, because we're going definitely for that GT3 RS style. So there we go. Nice and simple one to get it all back together. So I'm going to crack on with that, repair what we need, what we can repair, replace what we have to replace, and then we can get this little beast into the paint shop, ready to check out that awesome livery and whichever colour scheme I'm going to go with today. All the body panels sorted out, so let's get this beautiful Porsche all back together then. Front bumper, obviously everything is the GT3 RS if the option was available. And then for the headlights, we went for the D headlights with the tint on them, just looking a little bit darker and a little bit different, liking them. The 2 hoods, I couldn't see much difference between the B and the C, so we've just gone for the hood B. The C did sort of have some weird patterning that sort of run up the middle a little bit, but we're having a livery anyway, so it still looked like it was paint colour. So anyway, we just left it as hood B on there. On with the windshield. This door on this side is the GT3 RS. If we nip around to the other side, for some reason this door isn't labelled, but there is only 2 doors available. The other side of this is the GT2 RS. So at least you know you're not buying the wrong one. Let's get the windows in you go, and on with that beautiful carbon fibre mirror. Looking nice. Round to the other side. Get that all sorted out as well. In you go, and in you go. Round to the back, obviously the GT3 bumper. There's 2 GT3 trunks, one with the RS 4.0 and one debadged. We've kept it with the RS 4.0 on there, and it's got the livery on because we just managed to repair it. Spoilers, obviously that big GT3 RS spoiler, and the rear window in you go. That should be it for all the body panels, but let's get... Oh no, we've got tail lights. Tail lights, we've gone for the Bs. There is only A or B option. The B's just tinted, look a little smarter in my opinion. License plate, VM plate with a GT3 RS, and we've only got a back license plate. Nothing on the front of this one. But let's get in and get this interior all sorted and ready to go. The steering wheel is the 991 wheel, but I have swapped the seats. And at the moment, they are in brown. They won't be staying brown, but we've gone for the Carrera GT seats. Good looking seats. Hopefully we can get them with some colour on them and still looking pretty good by the end of it. That's what we've gone for. Hopefully it looks pretty good. Have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get this beast into the paint shop and pick some colours. Beautiful fresh coat of paint on the GT3 RS. We got this lovely deep matte blue with that livery. The only livery available, obviously, with the grey insert or stripe going front to back with a little bit of red detailing on it. It's also got these little bits all in that grey around there as well. We've also added the shielding around the headlight, grey to that as well. Changed the carbon fibre and the grey on these. So that they match in with the carbon fibre. We've added to the spoiler, which is now grey instead of blue. On the livery, this should be blue, and this is sort of like a off black colour. This is a carbon fibre, but a much finer weave in the normal version. I've just done mine to match in with that, looking pretty good on there. The tail lights do also have a little bit of that grey in it, just around the lip, but you can't really see it because it's quite tinted. Engine bay itself, black and silver, is that in there? So that's all right then. We can play with plenty of blues on the engine, make it look incredible. Not really much going on in there. The battery does sit there. I think it does clip out a little bit with the new features, but my favourite part is these Carrera GT seats. They are in the red, same colour as on the stripes on there, and then steel black, and then move it along. I can't remember which option it was, but you'll figure it out. All black, just with some red detailing on them. Looks absolutely fantastic. And if we take a sit down, the steering wheel's just got a bit of that red in the centre as well. Still keeping the Porsche logo and the rest of the colours of the dash all mixed in. Looking absolutely fantastic. Liking that one. Very impressed with it. I do like this sort of deep matte blue. I think it's a really nice colour. But this is what we're going to go for. Now it's time to get all the suspension, all the engine parts painted, get this beast back on the lifter, start getting it all back together, ready to hopefully tear up the racetrack today. That's everything painted, ready to go back on the beautiful GT3 RS. Looking stunning. Let's get started with getting these shocks together. We've got blue shocks, red springs, and blue caps, all in that matte finish on there. Looking absolutely incredible. Same for the front and rear. Looking very, very nice. Off you come with the stand, and let's start getting some of this on then. We're going to start with this front medium intercooler. In you go in a lovely matte red. I'm not even sure if we can see that through the bumper. Can we see it? Even with the torch on? No, right. You can't see it through the bumper, so never mind. But anyway, let's carry on. Front suspension crossmember is in that glorious matte blue. And we're going to crack on and get the rest of this in, showing a few little clips. And then we'll talk about it in a moment. Just putting on that last Brumbo brake caliper, but no logos on there today. We've gone for a slightly different red to get it to match in with all of that. Looking fantastic. You've got the upper and lower arms in the blue. Red bushings. They are normally red bushings, but I've also painted them a slightly different red as well. Blue shocks, red springs, red brake calipers, blue knuckle cover, and then the rear wheel hub in that little grey on there. Obviously, we still got the drive axle to go in, but let's jump up the front. Looking just as nice. This is all exactly the same setup, except we got the grey steering rack, the blue inner tie rod, and the red outer tie rod. Red sway bar, blue sway bar end link, and then the bushings on there. Still looking absolutely fantastic. We do have the fuel tank to go in, though, so let's do it from up here. Blue fuel tank. Ever so slightly different blue. Was hard to match these ones in. And then a grey on the little fuel pump just down there. Looking very, very nice. So there we go. I'm going to crack on and get the other side of the suspension all finished. Then we'll come back, sort out the engine bay before we go and build that beautiful twin-turbo boxer engine. That grey, blue, and red on the suspension looks absolutely fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments. But let's move on. Let's get this engine bay all sorted, starting with the hidden Type A Stage 3 ECU underneath the battery tray, which is in that brushed finish, but in the blue on there. Then we got our performance battery and the bracket, which is in a lovely little grey, with the support rods both in a lovely matte red. Looking very, very nice on there, matching in with all of the other reds showing up at the front. Wishy-washy reservoir, in you go. We've also got the fuse box in a cheeky blue down there, but we need to get down to the back and get this all sorted out. The ABS pump in a blue with the module in a grey and black on top of that one. Looking quite nice on there. In you go. Power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, and brake servo, if I could get them all just in there. Then we got the air filter base in the grey. Looking very nice with our red performance air filters. And then the cover also in the grey on the top there. I'm not actually 100% sure how this looks, so let's check it out. Bearing in mind that air filter is not central. That grey looks good on there, especially with the spoiler in the grey as well. I think that changes that up quite a bit. Looking good. But let's go and build that beautiful boxer engine. In we go. We've got the main block, both halves in the blue and red, which is why we're getting some red details out here and on the top somewhere. The engine heads are just in the blue, swinging on around. We do have some red springs in there, as you can see, but they are just part of it. This side's already done with its two camshafts, all the camshaft caps, spark plugs, cam gears, timing chain, and timing chain shoes. This side's not quite there, so let's get it all finished up. We've got one extra spark plug to go on this side, 3 on either side, 6 in total, 4 camshafts in total, 2 on either side, 6 camshaft caps on either side, so 12 of them in total. Then you've got 2 cam gear A, 1 on either side, 2 cam gear B, 1 on either side, 2 timing chains, 1 on either side, and then 4 timing chain shoes, 2 on either side. In you go, and in you go. There we go. Then we can get these timing covers on, looking nice in the grey, with a little splash of red on there as well, just for good measure. That red isn't the same as every other red. That is the, like, force red option that you can get on it. Still looks very nice, though. Engine head covers are just in a grey. In fact, they are in a grey and a red, which is why you get this little red extra strip at the end. You can see it isn't there at the moment. It is on the inside. But when we throw this one on, it's also on the outside of that piece. Looking very nice. The ignition coils, they are all in a beautiful matte red. Just finishing off that, looking absolutely beautiful on there. Loving them. In you go, and in you go. And let's crack on with the front. First off, idle roller. I haven't painted this idle roller. I've just left it in the standard red it comes with. See if it matches in. See, it does match in with our painted selected red choice. Happy with that. Timing cover C, just in a cheeky red and grey on there. Just a little bit of red on the outside or inside, however you want to call that. The water pump is in a blue, looking very nice on the blue bit there. And the water pump pulley is in a grey with a splash of red just for that little dot on the front there. Crankshaft pulley is also in that grey, looking very nice. We've got the alternator in a grey on there. Very, very good. In you go. Then we've got the oil filter, which is in that red, a bit darker than everything else, just because how it works out. But it still looks very nice with the timing belt just blacked out as per usual. Power steering pumps in the grey. Couldn't get any two-tone to work on this one. Just the type of power steering pump it is. Belt tensioner is in a grey as well. Keeping up with the grey and blue on the front with a few splashes of red. Looking very nice. Let's move on up, though. Fuel filter at the back is in that red. Then we've got the fuel rails, which are in grey and red. You see you get the two-tone on them. Looking very nice with the little red bits just down there. Looking good. Intake manifolds. These are just in a grey. No other two-tone or anything like that available on these ones. That's all you could get on it. So let's just get them in. Ready to go. The oil fill tube. That is also in a grey. Couldn't get any two-tone on that one either. And then the throttle is in a two-tone. But it's actually a three-tone. A grey, a black, and red on there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving them. And then the last pieces to just go in are these turbochargers, which are in the red, but they're chrome and red. So you just get a few little red bits dotted around with the rest of it in the chrome. Because them exhaust tips at the back of the car are in a chromey colour. And yes, the rest of the exhaust ready to go in there. It's all in a chrome as well. This engine looks very, very good in the blue and grey with the odd splash of red. Liking that one. But let's get it dropped into our GT3 RS. And see how good it looks inside the engine bay. In you go. Get that crane put away because we don't need you anymore. That's looking good. The blue's just about poking up through from underneath, but you've got the silver on the edges there mixed in with all of that grey. Looking very nice. And a few splashes of red. Obviously, you can still see the stripe on the red there. Looking nice. Pleased with that. Let's get it up in the air. And we've got the gearbox, the last of the exhaust, and a couple of little drive shaft bits just to go in there. So let's nip straight in with the gearbox, which is in the blue. And a tiny splash of red wherever it is just over there. Hiding away. Wasn't really worth it, but it just adds the extra colour to it. Rear drive axles are in the blue. Very similar to the fuel tank. Slightly different blue to everything else just to try and get it to match without making these go weirdly over blue as well on top of it. But there we go. That's all of that. Oh, starter. Nearly forgot the starter. We have forced the starter for the first time, I believe, in a full grey, just because it looked a bit funny in the other type of grey with all the other bits dotted around there. And then let's just get in the last of the exhaust, front exhaust section in the chrome, and then the two rear exhaust bits in the chrome as well. But they don't matter because it's just a chrome exhaust tip sticking out the back. The rest of the underside is all pretty much blanked off in the middle there. And then at the front, we've got that blue and grey. Looking very, very nice. Pleased with it. Looking fantastic. Let's crack on, though. We need to get all the liquids topped up, windows tinted, get some lovely wheels done, and get this beautiful Porsche outside in the sun. All finished with a beautiful Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Looking absolutely stunning. Loving the blue colouring on this one. I think the blue looks absolutely fantastic. And then with that grey and red, really just adds up to it. And if we just open up that engine bay, it looks absolutely stunning in there. Just a little bit of light just to ping it off. All of them greys look beautiful. Loving that one thing. It looks fantastic. Today, we went with the Porsche 991 rims. Obviously, keeping that Porsche logo on them. They are in that body-matched grey. Looking absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. The front rim, in fact, all rims are the same size. They're a 20-inch rim with a 245 width and a 35 profile on there. We got slick tyres on them. The whole shot slick tyres. The lettering on the whole shot is the same colour as the rim. It's quite hard to tell, but it is indeed. As I said, all four exactly the same size. That is a 20-inch rim with a 245 width and a 35 profile on there. Absolutely fantastic. It looks beautiful. Can't wait to get this one onto the track. And this interior, I need to step back out because I love these seats. I think these seats in the steel black with some red accents. Really, really work on there. Looking beautiful. Jump in, check out the rest. You got loads of splashes of red everywhere on this. It really is beautiful. Excellent job by Lit, as I'm sure we've already called it. But this is fantastic. Does still say GT2 on the dashboard, though. I wish it said GT3, considering this is the GT3 RS model. But anyway, let's get it started. Hear that boxer engine. There we go. Oh, listen to that. And then you've got just that turbo whistle just in the background. Absolutely perfect. The tick over on this one isn't bad. It's not quite as good as some of the new air engines we've got, but the acceleration sounding very mean. But let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno with the Porsche 997 or 911 GT3 RS. It's Boxer 6 engine with 403 factory horsepower. We've added all the performance parts today, including some extra TKAftermarket ones. How much have we gained? A gain of 394 horsepower, 98%, almost a whole new Boxer engine, but not quite. Very, very close, though. Bringing us up to 797 horsepower from this insane Porsche. Built for the track, so we will be racing it on the track today. See how well we can do. The time we're aiming to beat on the track is a standing lap of a 126.657 and a flying lap of 123.539. And by my Emden Jaeger, which was a little while ago, we did that one there. But let's take a look at the beautiful gearbox tuning setup we've gone for today. That took a while, but there we go. We've gone for a 2.6 ratio. I have adjusted the curve slightly, so it isn't as it comes. It is slightly different. We've got 85k in first gear, up to a reported 446 in 7th gear. I don't think we'll be getting into 6th or 7th, maybe 6th on the odd occasion, but not 7th gear on the track, at least I don't think. We shall find out in just a little while. But before we do that, fully tuned ECU. Don't forget, little link if you're on the computer to go and watch that little short on how to do it perfectly every time. Link in the description below, or just go onto my shorts and look for the easy ECU tune every time. It's guaranteed. Very easy to do. But let's get over to the track, see what we can do with this GT3 RS. It's been a little while since we've been on the racetrack, so I might be a little bit rusty, and this might not be the perfect lap. But if you've watched my channel before and you've seen us on the track before, we're going to do one standing lap, obviously from a standing start, and then one flying lap. And both times we'll go down on the board and we'll see where we end up. Again, we're trying to beat that flying lap of 123.539 from the Emden Jaeger. Let's just get in with it. The Porsche, you won't see much of the first lap unless I make some mistakes or do an epic corner. Then you might see that, but we will show you the full flying lap. So let's go. Come on, little Porsche, you can do it. GT3 RS for the win off the line. Let's head up into turn 1. I'm not going to brake for this first corner. A little bit slidey there. Wasn't prepared for that. Braking for the second corner. For some reason, it's kept us in 4th gear. I'm not happy with that. Pull around corner number 3, flat out into corner number 4 as we come into the first big right-hander. We are definitely going to need to slam on the brakes and definitely drop down into 3rd gear for this one as we use the car to pull us round, letting off the acceleration. And we've gone back into 4th. It's not the best at gear changing with the automatic, this one, but there we go. As we pull out a little tiny bit wide and then back onto the dirt. Definitely made a mess of that one, but let's go into the S section. Braking down into 3rd as we pull around the final corner, get across the start-finish line into our flying lap. Let's slam on the brakes into 3rd. 3rd gear seems to be a good turning gear for me today. Down into 3rd again as we pull around corner number 2, and then 4th gear, not fully flat, had to let off there, but fully flat on this corner. As long as we can keep it straight, there we go. Up into our first banked turn. Going to be using that 3rd gear again, so let's just get braking. Down into 3rd. Oh, that was back up into 4th, but that actually just about worked out all right. If I can get the car back under control again. Not the easiest thing to drive, but there we go. Doing all right, fully flat through there as we come up into that big right-hander. Don't like this corner very much. It's the one I mess up with the most, so we drop down into 3rd, back up into 4th apparently, and let the car pull us all the way around as we accelerate out. That wasn't bad, actually. Did mess up the entry a little bit, but the exit was perfect. Into the big bank left-hander, down into 3rd, and we'll keep that. That was all right. Pull us all the way around onto the exit, not wide. Absolutely special corner. I really enjoyed that one. That was good. As we come down into the fast S's, definitely going to need a tiny bit of braking on the first corner. Lots of braking into third as we pull around this part. Slamming on the brake a little bit more for that gear. And then round for the final corner. Down into third. What are we going to end up with? Cutting the corner just a little bit there. And across the line. Not too shabby. Spun out a little bit there, but there we go. We managed the standing lap in a 1:33.956. Sadly, not beating that Emden Jaeger, but I think that's on the board somewhere. But the flying lap with a 1:26.657. I'm very impressed with that. I think that might put it second. We will find out in a minute when we get this beautiful Porsche back to the garage and hopefully sold on for a tasty bit of profit. I thought it was second, but it's actually third from the Porsche 997 at 911 at GT3 RS. Not too shabby. Very close to second, though. Very, very close there. We managed it in a 1:33.956 for the flying lap, standing lap, sorry. And for that flying lap was a 1:26.657, putting the beautiful Porsche third. And I'm very impressed with that. Couldn't quite beat the 401 horsepower Emden Jaeger. That thing is an absolute machine around the track. Or the Hinata Moon. That thing is also a machine around the track. Highest power on there. The lower power numbers seem to be doing a little bit better, in my opinion. But there we go. Lovely little image of the Porsche on the track down the bottom there. Looking beautiful. But let's go and see if we can sell this lovely little Porsche on for a tasty bit of profit. So, third place on the racetrack lap times board from the Porsche 997 or the 911 at GT3 RS. But let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for $28,130 at the beginning and could have sold it and lost $7,141, which wouldn't have been the best start, but there we go. But we obviously didn't do that. We spent another $89,573 upgrading and modifying, tuning and painting this beautiful Porsche to how you see it now. Can we make some money with a total spend of $89,000? No, with a total spend of $117,703. Well, there she is, all 100% finished. And that engine ramped up from 403 horsepower up to 797. A gain of 98% from this beastly little boxer engine. Absolutely love that. But we did spend $117,703 to get here. So can we make some money? Oh, that's close. With a sale price of $124,357. Does leave us with some profit, but only $6,654. Not too bad, though. Profit is profit. I love this Porsche. I think it looks absolutely incredible. I love the red on the interior, the red on the livery, which we then matched in with a few splashes of red on that engine. Keeping in with the blue and grey theme going on in there. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. But do let me know what you think in the comments below. But it is time to say goodbye to the beautiful Porsche. Off you go. And our tiny, tiny little bit of profit. What have we got up next? Well, we're going to do another track car. And jumpy game. And I've been looking forward to doing this beast for a little while. Well, ever since the DLC, the mod came out. This is the beautiful Nissan Z. But this is the wide body version 2. It's got some pretty awesome looking stuff on it. And I think it's going to look pretty epic on the racetrack when we come back to this on a Monday. I got mine from the auction house. It's not bad condition. The frame's pretty good. Everything else is so-so. But did we get a good deal? No, but not by much. I'll take that. I bought it for $28,300 and could sell it for $27,435. Losing out, but only just on $865. We can live with that one. The engine in this is the V6, the double overhead cam VQ37 VHR engine. Very long-winded title there. With 420 factory horsepower, we will obviously be adding performance parts, trying to make this one as insane as we can, but we will also be pitting it round the track. So do make sure you join us back here on Monday for this beautiful Nissan Z. What did you think of the Porsche 997 or the 911 at GT3 RS, which definitely sounds like a much better title for it, but there we go. Do let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a cheeky little like, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, make sure you are subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a beautiful day, whatever you get up to. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And you, yes, you, thank you for sticking around to the end. I very much do appreciate it. It's one of the best ways you can support this channel, especially if you have the adverts turned on as well. A little bit of extra money for me. But thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.